I'm Ashley, this is Life Beyond Locks, and today we're going to look at the difference between Savannah and Courtney, the original Courtney from Uniwigs. There's also an upgrade version. We're going to take a look at the difference basically between the silk top and the monofilament top. Which one is best for you and maybe why? This is a question that I get all the time, and while I do have separate videos on Courtney, the original, the upgrade Courtney, and Savannah, I haven't really looked at them together to do a comparative analysis. So that's what we're going to do here, because one of the questions that I often get is, why is Savannah more than twice the price? Is it worth that price jump? What's the ultimate difference? And if you are new to alternative hair, or specifically to toppers, the difference between silk top and mono top can be challenging to understand because you don't have any point of reference. So we're going to look at that right now. So currently I am wearing the Savannah piece. She is a silk top, 9x9 cap, and she's shown in the mousse brown. For point of comparison, instead of showing you the more popular currently upgrade Courtney, we're going to look at the original Courtney because she also is here in mousse brown. She's a little bit older than the Savannah, but not by much, and both have been washed a fair bit. So you're getting really a look at these pieces after they've been worn, after they've been washed. Courtney's been worn a whole lot in a ponytail or with a wide headband, where Savannah, I actually wore her to work for several months in a row. So she was getting sort of that everyday workwear. And this one here, she's been getting a lot of like that rough, like workout, playing outside with my kids kind of wear. But either way, both have been washed, both have been worn. Quite a good deal. So let's start by taking a look at the Courtney. So this is the original Courtney, and she comes with a side part. So this one has a left part. You can also elect to go with the right part, or you can go with a full monofilament area where you can part anywhere in that area. And that's the difference ultimately between the original Courtney and then the upgrade Courtney. She comes with this area here being fully hand tied. So what that means is somebody has individually sewn every hair into this area to create a most natural look, the most movement possible. So what that does mean though, is that anything that I put under this monofilament area, because it's transparent, you are going to see. So if I put skin color under there, like powder, scar tape, or my bare hand, then it's going to take on a natural flesh appearance. If I don't, and I put it on top of my own hair with nothing acting as a barrier between my hair color and the mesh, then it's going to look darker. So I'll show you, I'm wearing a black shirt. So I'll just put it up against my black shirt and you'll see that all of a sudden you can't see the part where you can when I put my hand under. So you might need to put some powder, some scar tape, something like that to make it look more natural. The other thing that you're going to notice with the Courtney, though this area is hand tied and that is pretty labor intensive and therefore, would result in a slightly higher cost for the upgrade that has the larger parting area. This one and any other like it, you can see little knots if I get super close. So are they very detectable to the average person? No, but if you are looking very closely at the top of someone's head and they're wearing either lace or monofilament like this, you're going to see the grid pattern and the knots. Knots are basically where the hair enters this hand-tied area and are secured in place. So you see that point of entry. You're not going to be able to see it with the silk top, and I'll show you why in just a moment. So the original Courtney, she has this area that's hand tied and everything else is made from a weft. So a weft is like a strip of hair. If you think those long extensions, it's a strip of hair that's sewn into place and creates coverage and movement like we see here. So I'm going to separate the hair, show you what the weft looks like. I'm having a harder time doing that than I expected. And that is in part because Uniwigs does a really good job of putting their wefts nice and closely together. So you don't see the wefts when your hair is blowing in the wind as easily. So there you can see there's a strip sewn there and there's a strip sewn there. So that's the wefting, and then they just fall in place and they're laid one on top of the other to sort of create a cascading hair fall like that. So this cap has a bunch of clips. It's still a very good quality piece. And you do have some of that hand-tied area, which is also very good quality. But it does come in at a lower price point because overall it has less hair than what you're seeing in this silk top piece. So I would have to check the measurements. I should know them by heart and I don't. I believe this one is about a 7.5 by 7.5, maybe it's 7 by 7, but it just also overall has a little bit less hair than we're going to see on Savannah. And that brings the price point down because there's just less hair in it. This would be a very good option for somebody who has mild hair loss. So if you're at the earlier hair loss stages, mild to moderate, something like Courtney is going to be ideal for you. The reason why is because she's not super dense. She doesn't have a ton of hair. So, and as I said, the ponytail is going to be relatively small. So she's not going to make you look like you have an overwhelming amount of hair. This is perfect if you are starting hair loss because it's just going to give you that extra confidence boost that you might want and need. So I'm going to take off Savannah and then I'll show you the inside of her cap after. And I'll show you how different Courtney looks on me because the difference is, I think, fairly noticeable in the density, but also because they have different cuts and different styles on them currently. So it's going to look different because this one is quite long. It's 18 inches. My Savannah is 16 inches. But then also Savannah comes with a cut that has lots and lots of face framing pieces, whereas Courtney does not. So this one, as I said, has a side part. So I'm going to apply it on the side for you to see. So we're missing those face framing layers, but overall, it just is a little bit less hair. So I'm wearing this piece right to the front of my hairline. That makes sense because I don't have a lot of hair to blend. Could I make it work? Absolutely. So if I had an extra clip in there that I didn't realize I had in. If I were to wear this further back, let's say back here, and this is how it's intended to be worn, is you just wear it, an inch or two back, and then you would pull your own biological hair over the front and conceal that. Now this doesn't work for me because I have all of this thinning here, which I can conceal with a hair fiber, a root spray, eyeshadow. There's a number of ways that you can conceal it and still wear the piece further back, and it will give it the most natural look. These pieces are super flat lying, thin. So you really won't be able to see the difference in transition. Once this is on your head and you have your own hair there, you're not going to see a ton of bulk. It's not going to be obvious. That's the benefit of something like a monofilament top topper like this one. So if you have a little bit of thinning and you're just looking for that extra oomph, this is going to be a great piece for you. And if you have more hair than I have, you can really play with the placement. So you can have it an inch or two back, but you could even go further back potentially depending on where you want coverage. Another great look is to have it like this and then put a headband or some sunglasses, and it really just gives you lots of lift and length. So many, many options here. If Courtney is not ideal for me, because actually there's one more thing I need to say. If I have her clipped here and I turn around at the back, you're going to see that it didn't provide full coverage. So it does mean that I would need to get a closer match to my biological hair or dye my bio hair to match. So just be mindful of that as well. It's not a full coverage piece. It's not intended to be super full coverage. And that's what makes this a really good one if you just need that extra lift. Where does my closet then, my wig closet, have room for a piece like this? Because it certainly does. Like, why own this piece then if you have a hairline like mine and you need more coverage? This piece is lightweight and very comfortable. And so it's going to make it ideal for wear under, let's say, a ball cap or a sun hat, where you don't want to have tons and tons of weight and coverage at the top because it's just going to be overwhelming. It's going to be bulky. Your hat's not going to sit flat. This will be so perfect for that. And that's how I wear this one 99% of the time that I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it with baseball hat. The other way that I wear it, and I have a full video on this already, is in a ponytail with a wide headband. So then I don't even have to worry about that transition area. I can just clip it in, put the wide headband here, have a ponytail, and you'll never ever see it. The other thing I do is I flip my hair upside down. I put my hair in a high ponytail like this. I cover up the back. And I also have a video on that with a wide headband, and that gives me a lot of lift and a high messy bun that I could never ever achieve with my biological hair. So Courtney is great if you are, one, in the early stages of your hair loss and are willing to wear it a little bit off your hairline. Wear it right to the front, but expect that it's not going to give you tons of coverage. Or two, if you just want something in your closet that is inexpensive, easy to maintain, but gives you that extra lift in a hat or with a wide headband. That is the perfect purpose for Courtney. And to get all of this human hair for such an affordable price, and it really is affordable. It makes it a nice versatile piece for that little bit of lift and oomph that we're talking about. Okay, the next one, Savannah. Savannah is the 9x9 that I was wearing to start with. She does not have a monofilament top. So she comes with a silk top, and the silk top, it doesn't matter if I have my hand under there or not, you're always going to get this scalp-like appearance. And the reason why is that the hairs are individually sewn into a piece of silk that is Caucasian skin color. So that means that you can't see the point of entry for the knot, because the knot goes in through this, instead of transparent material, it goes through an opaque material, and then you don't see it pop back at the other side. So the knots are underneath, and then they are covered up with another piece of material. All of this material means that you have a thicker coverage on the top. So it's not overly thick. I think that this piece looks very natural personally, or I wouldn't have worn it to work where I teach with, scrutinizing teenagers. But it's definitely thicker than we saw with Courtney. It's also going to give you more coverage, in part because silk tops are very heavy in the front. It's the nature of how they're sewn. And we have like a ridge here that is thicker and has more hair than we do with Courtney. I'll do a side-by-side comparison if I can of that front. So you can just see that this one would lay a lot flatter than this one. There's a lot more lift. There's a lot more hair in the front of this piece than there is in this one, right? So that does mean that if I was going to wear the Savannah and I was going to wear her further back, that transition would be more obvious if I didn't have a good amount of density at the front to play with. So I would really have to work this hair, have some lift, have some hair fibers, really work it to conceal the silk top behind it. Is it doable? Absolutely. Did I do it when I first started? A little bit, yes. But now I tend to wear her further to the front, which isn't a problem because she has so much hair to the front that it just completely hides that front transition altogether, because we've got so much hair, we've got so much that we can work with in the front part of the silk top. So this silk top, as I said, or maybe I didn't say, is a 9x9. We have the wefting all around, and we have this large parting area. So I should have checked, and once again, I didn't check my numbers, but it's about 4 inches, I would say, that you have to play with. So you can go with a middle part, a left side part, right side part, and anywhere in this area is going to look like natural human scalp. The rest of it is all wefting. You've got some nice clips, and this cap at a larger size is going to give you more coverage, more hair, and in my opinion, a more comfortable cap, because the clips are going to clip further down your head. I've only met one, and I've helped hundreds of girls in direct messages on my Instagram account. I've only ever met one person who prefers a smaller capped piece to a larger capped piece. One. Doesn't mean that it might not be right for you to go with the smaller cap, but if you're looking for more coverage because you have moderate to heavy hair loss, this is going to be most likely, in my opinion, the way to go. Now, I feel like I'm on an island when I say that, because most of the women I know prefer closed lace or monofilament to silk. And maybe it's because I started my hair journey in a silk top topper that I tend to gravitate towards them. But I just find that they look so good. Not worrying about how the top of my head looks is such, I don't know, a relief for me when I'm going about my day to day. And notice I'm not even blending this in. I'm just plopping it on and I'm good to go. Is it obvious? For some people, they would say yes. For others, they would say no. Having a little bit of lift here and pulling out a few baby hairs, just a few, can make a world of difference as well. But on the whole, I just feel most comfortable in a silk top piece when I'm going about my business. I'll show you the back so you can see how much coverage we're getting. So I still probably would want to dye to match if I was wearing this all the time, but truth be told, I never did. And I wore it every day for months. So I think it gives you sufficient coverage that you can feel comfortable. Both are made with the Burmese hair, so they're going to both dry wavy, and then you can heat style them to get the finish that you want. So that's true for Courtney, and that's also true for Savannah, and both are available in many of the same colors. So the color you're seeing me in is Moose Brown. In both cases, as you saw, it has the face framing highlighted pieces and then dimension throughout. And that dimension is really going to help for you to disguise your bio hair better than if you have a solid colored topper. I also have Courtney, the upgraded version in Truffle Brown, and it is a beautiful color, but you can more easily see the difference between my hair color and the color of the topper. So there you have it. I've kind of rambled, but hopefully this has been somewhat informative for you in terms of which one might be best for you at this point in your hair journey. Honestly, if you can manage to have both, it's really nice to have something in the same color that you can play with for different purposes. So having Savannah perhaps as your day-to-day, if you do like the silk top, which by the way, I didn't mention is going to be a little bit warmer and hotter than this piece. So bear that in mind, though I have never found toppers to be unbearable just because you have so much room under the topper for your hair to breathe. I really like them for that reason. But if you can, you decide that you like the silk top, then you could always get later on the Courtney so that you can have her for sport or play with a ponytail and then keep, Savannah in good form for your going out or for your workwear or your Zoom calls or whatever it is that you're wearing her for. But I don't think you can go wrong with either. So in a nutshell, Courtney, I recommend her to somebody who has light to moderate hair loss and who is willing to do a little bit of blending work. I just think personally that she looks better when you do a bit of that blend. So that is where we are for her. Hair quality on Savannah, equally good, but the extra price point comes from the fact that there is so much more hair on here. It comes with a beautiful custom cut, and you have that silk top, which gives you the realistic looking part line. She's going to be ideal for someone from light to very heavy hair loss like what I have, and she's going to give you full coverage. She's going to be a little bit warmer. She's going to be a little bit lighter. Both of them are going to be fantastic though once you make them your own by playing with them and changing up the style a little bit, changing the part, moving things around. I think you're going to be very happy with both. And honestly, I've received messages from women who have purchased one, the other, or both and are happy with everything that they have for the reasons that they've purchased them. So just a little bit of consideration. If you have any questions, if there's something that I didn't address in this video that you would like to see me address, just drop it in the comments below and I will do my best to give you as whole of an answer as I can, because I understand that you may still have questions unanswered after this video, and trying to decide between these two pieces can be really challenging. So I'm here to help, and good luck on your hair loss journey. I hope that you do jump into toppers and that your experience is just as mine has been, which is absolutely transformational and has really truly given me my confidence and my life back as I can just put them on and go. We'll see you in the next video.